the usual stories because we have already spent 10 minutes and our global audience are watching. On that note, I'll call on Vic to just give us a very short prayer so we can start. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Please, can we all be upstanding as we say a word of prayer? And our audience also watching us on Facebook, if you can kindly join me, and so we say a word of prayer. Let's pray. Most gracious and everlasting Father, we thank you so much for your goodness and mercies. We thank you for the gift of life. We thank you for everything. This morning, we are going to have our seminar to discuss about the ethical use of AI in this modern Ghana. Father, it is our prayer that, Father, you come and be with us. Speak through our speakers so that everything they will teach us or empower us with will be able to help us in our daily lives. This and many more we pray with thanksgiving. Amen.
Thank you very much. Ethical use of AI in higher agriculture, education, and climate-smart research for entrepreneurial and digitally oriented young men and women. Of course, we've gathered here, and a program like this, courtesy demands that we have somebody to chair. Remember, we are in an academic environment. The Vice Dean of School of Agric has really consented to chair this program for us. I believe he deserves a round of applause. Professor Paul Ago Asari. Now, quickly, because of time, we will just have his remarks briefly so the program can flow quickly.
Good morning, colleagues. Since it's brief, my brother, I accept to chair. Come for your mic. All right, so that was on a lighter note. On behalf of our Dean, Professor De Graft Aqua, I would like to officially welcome all of you to all this important seminar titled Ethical Use of AI in Higher Agriculture Education and Climate-Smart Research for Entrepreneurial and Digitally-Oriented Young Men and Women. I think you all agree with me that this particular theme is timely and very important for all of us. We are going to basically explore the vital principle guiding the responsible application of artificial intelligence. Together, we aim to foster a deeper understanding of how we will use these technologies ethically for our collective good and also be accountable for its use. I want to reiterate the word together. Together because I know that this audience, one of you would have been more experienced in using one or two of the ethical artificial intelligence tools. And therefore, I beseech you to bring your expertise to bear, especially during the discussion section, so that some of us who are not prelude to the tool that you have been using all this while, we also learn something from you beside our esteemed resource personnel that we have invited. So on this note, I wholeheartedly accept to chair this occasion. But before then, please take note that I'm not good at summarizing speeches and expertise taught. So kindly take note of whatever that's going to be discussed. So on this note, my closing remarks will be in a question and answers form. So I'm not going to summarize. I'm going to ask questions, and I demand that you give an answers to my question that I'm going to pose. On this note, thank you so much for this honor done me, and I hope you are going to cooperate so that we have a successful section. Thank you.
Oh, he deserves a better one. This means that everybody should be alert till we close. That's all that he wants us to do. The questions will come from him. On that note, the man doesn't like talking. Anytime it is his turn to tell us something, he will have excuses because he doesn't want to be the center of attraction. But wherever you go, Professor Anofrimpong, you are the one I'm talking to. Please come and tell us a little, at least, about TACDEF 2.0 and why this seminar. You want to be there? Okay, I'll bring you the microphone. No matter how hard you try to hide, the cameras will be on you. Beautiful. So there you are. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much, Dr. Kwabena and Kunadu. And good morning to everybody. Yes, we are privileged this morning to have you here and to listen to the AI and how it's being used in higher education by way of research and then also training of the youth. We are doing this thing, this is a faculty seminar, but we are taking advantage to introduce TACDEF 2.0. I think you've been hearing about TACDEF 2.0, TACDEF 2.0, and as a co-sponsor of this seminar, we want to have opportunity to let you know about TACDEF 2.0. Can I have my presentation, please? Right. So, TACDEF 2.0, when you hear TACDEF 2.0, it's a long sentence. It's about transforming Africa's agricultural universities to contribute meaningfully to growth and development. It's TACDEF 2.0 because we are coming from TACDEF 1.0. Those of you who have been patronizing pineapple around, the pineapple Cup Plus projects, it came out from TACDEF 1.0. And based on the successes of such projects in other countries in Africa, such as, and then universities such as Egerton and Guri in Uganda, MasterCard Foundation helped to sponsor the TACDEF 2.0. And TACDEF 2.0 is coming under the Scholars program of the MasterCard Foundation. Now, for the University of Cape Coast, we are looking at the budget of about 4.6 million United States dollars over 10-year period. And 12 universities across Africa, and then GISERA is also participating. And currently we are competing under what we call ASEC. And ASEC also, we are looking about 1.2 million United States dollars. TACDEF 2.0, Shaibu, TACDEF 2.0 has youth development at the center or the heart of the program. So for the next 10 years, we are going to train about 560 youth. The 560, we are thinking of about 560 youths. We are looking at 520 undergraduate students and then 40 postgraduate students. For year one, we are going to look at 25 youth. And the call has started. Our target is mainly women, I won't say women, young ladies, eh? Yes, and the pre-call has started, and I want to take this advantage to let you inform our people, the vulnerable and then the disadvantaged in our, in the hinterlands. Yes, please inform them that there is a program, and it's going to be fully sponsored. Fully sponsored, we'll provide scholarship and everything for you. And then also, for 40 postgraduate students. I will talk about the youth development aspect as I go on, but another aspect of TACDEF 2.0 is to help institutional development. So for the University of Cape Coast, we are looking at about 12 to 9 programs. And these programs are BSc Agriculture, BSc Agricultural Extension Community Development, BSc Agribusiness, BSc in Horticulture, BSc MPhil in Molecular Biology and Biotech, MPhil Agricultural Extension, MPhil Agriculture, MPhil in Crop Science. And we are thinking of BSc Food Security and Climate, which are yet to be developed. So for this year, the adverts will come and we will have, if you know students who will apply, they can apply and they're interested in these areas, they will have to apply. And then, so for the second years that you are in the system now, you don't qualify. You're thinking about the first years. Thank you very much. So in terms of the institutional development, we are looking at transformation of the institutions. Therefore, we are going to help staff and students develop their skills in experiential learning and some delivery, experiential learning delivery techniques. Our focus is on entrepreneurship, and we are gender sensitive. In fact, for all our program, our target is about 70 female, 10 male, and then the rest PWD. I mean, let me put it that way. Right. Also, TACDEF 2.0 will help improve some policies in the university campus, and then also address some of the institutional bottlenecks that we find in the university. Yeah. Also, as part of the TACDEF 2.0, the NEV is also about entrepreneurship and business development. And in this way, we are going to look at helping the university enhance its business incubation policies. We are going to also work with the university to facilitate entrepreneurship and incubation hub management, and then also provide some business development services in collaboration with the private sector, so that we ensure that the young women and men will grow their businesses. One other area that we also want to look at, and I'm sure today we have intentionally asked one of our presenters to look at AI in climate adaptive research. And it's going to be a major focus for TACDEF 2.0. We will work to look at some adaptive agro-food systems and entrepreneurship value chain, research. We are going to support the national and regional climate support organization to train young men and women. And here we are talking about climate leadership, greenhouse estimation, climate modeling, and the international climate negotiations. We'll also be involved and adapt some villages and look at sustainable tree planting in such communities. And then also, we are going to have, as part of the community engagement, we also look at how industry will participate in the teaching and learning in the university. So we are going to invite and have dialogue with the industry, and also make sure that we network and advocate such that we can leverage on some of the resources of the industry to bring to bear in the teaching of students on campus. We are also looking at extension delivery. We will help and work with extension agents and target farmers. We are going to target farmers who are cassava growers, sweet potato, pineapple, and then vegetables in the central region and other parts of the country. Now, this part is very, very important to me, and this is where we are going to have a lot of collaboration with, researchers and then students. We have the mandate to evolve skilling for work and wealth creation. We are supposed to train 10,400 out-of-school youth. And this is where we are going to need, departments such as agri-economics and extension, and then agro-processing and others, and then even crop science department to be involved in the skilling of the students. And the trainings are going to be such that when we train them, we expect them to also generate jobs. So it's about job creation. And also, we are going to work with some Tvucc. In Ghana, when we come to Tvucc, we are talking about Adidome Farm Institute and then Aswanzi Farm Institute. We are going to involve them also in the training of the out-of-school youth. We are also going to have entrepreneurship for innovation and job and wealth creation. Under this, if you look down here, you see that we have some partners. We are talking about Ministry of Food and Agriculture. We are going to work with University for Development Studies, UNEL, and then, as I mentioned, Adidome, and then Aswanzi. And then we are going to also work with CSIR, and then also our own university, the Crop Science Department, for example, they've come up with some technologies. We want to see how we will strengthen some innovation hubs on the campuses to help in the training of students and then the general public. And then also, as I indicated, we are going to evolve the climate smart production units. The last but not the least is where we are going to have a lot of work to do, expanding work opportunities for wealth creation for young people along the value chain. So here we are targeting about 20,000 youth and farmers in climate and agri-food systems entrepreneurship. And then also, we are also supposed to, at the same time, train 17,000 young farmers in management practices in agriculture. And we are talking about 4 commodity value chains, as I mentioned earlier. We are looking at tomato and vegetables. We are looking at sweet potato value chain, pineapple value chain, and then the cassava and yam value chain. So where we have the advantage, we are going to look at some of our partners to help in the dissemination of the projects. So by ASEC, that is what we are going to look at, and I want all of you to be in the lookout as we come out with the adverts, and then we look at the areas. You see how best we can collaborate. On that note, I want to thank you very much. And Tvucc 2.0 has come to stay. We have an office at the CA Aka building, the ground floor, and I have a team that I'm working with, so you can always call on us and then inquire more about the Tvucc 2.0 program. Thank you very much.
Oh, a better one for him. Professor Dungo. Quickly, he has saved us some 5 minutes, and I won't allow him to go without a question. Most times when we have the opportunity to be part of seminars and they are fully paid for, we tend not to value it so much. So my question is, how come that Tvucc 2.0 came to the University of Cape Coast? We know there are other universities in Africa as having been selected. A little light on that will help us.
Yeah, thank you very much. I don't want to take the glory, but I want to say that I play, a major role in bringing Tvucc 2.0 here, based on the work that I did. And then also, and then I did this work with the university. I'm a university staff, so I did it for the university. And University of Cape Coast, for the years, has played a very major role within the Ruforum fraternity. And I think it's also a factor. And then also, if you look at the institution as University of Cape Coast, what TACDEF believes in, we have a lot of things here to leverage on. So I'm not surprised that we were chosen among the universities in Ghana. But of course, we are going to cooperate with other universities that are also members of TACDEF 2.0 in Ghana. But above all, I think our successes in recent years as the best university in Ghana, West Africa, and among the best in Africa also contributed a lot in bringing the TACDEF 2.0 to University of Cape Coast. Thank you very much.
No question, you are discharged. There's this lady who does it better when some people do things that are great. She uses certain terminologies, abagri, abagra, abba. Do you remember? Please come and do one for Professor before he sits down.
So in a short while, let me take you to Cameroon. In Cameroon, when you do war, we give you abata. So it's just one. Abata. Good. So you know about it already. And then when it's, like in the middle, we give you abako. It goes this way. So let's do it. Abako. And then when you do extremely well, excellent performance, we give you abarini. So we go this way. Abarini. So let's go. Abarini. Yes, and what Prof did, he really deserves a very big abarini. So ladies and gentlemen, join me to offer him abarini. Awesome.
The smiles on somebody's face. If I hadn't allowed Abba, I would have been in trouble. We are lucky to have presenters who normally wouldn't want you to talk so much about them. Professor Chair, I am saying that we have presenters from experiences who wouldn't want you to talk so much about them. So, with your permission, I'll just be inviting them because they don't like that, I know. Especially your brother. I can see here that he is the next to present. And so, what we'll do is that when they start, put down your questions. Any question you want to ask, when the presenter finishes, we'll deal with those questions, and then before we bring the next presenter. Is that a deal? Is that a deal? Yeah. Good. So, with a round of applause, let's welcome Professor Michael Edu, Head of Department Crop Science, School of Agric, University of Cape Coast. I won't say anything again, but trust me, you love the presentation. Abarini for me. Abarini is the high one. Then please do it again for me. Yes, as I indicated, whilst Prof is ready to deliver, put down your questions, your curiosities, and then he will take us through. Prof, thank you.
Just a moment. One moment, I'll be with you shortly, please. I can't see my slide. Yes. make sure this is.
So, as I indicated, this program is live, and so our global audience, you have the opportunity at the right time I will announce. So, if you want to ask questions after the presentation, then we take those questions on board. And so, whilst we get ready, once I was a student in UCC, and before I could say Jack, students have complained and fought for something to be stopped. Up to today, I don't understand who that devil was to encourage students to force management to stop something that was good. And what am I talking about? If you came in as a student to read education, you were given an offer to do a diploma in social sciences free of charge. So by the time you finished, you had 2 certificates, degree and a diploma, free of charge. If you came in for social science or any other area, you are given opportunity to pick a diploma in education. I don't know what happened. Students said they didn't like that. And so they fought, they demonstrated. I was very young, but I didn't understand how the devil could work that way. That's something that is a dash for you. Fast forward, after some years, call it 10 years, then students who wanted to come and do education were to pay to do PGD, and come and see students who are still rushing to go and pay. So what I'm saying is that open your ears very well. AI education is the way to go. On that note, we go back to our presenter. Thank you.
Good morning. Thank you very much, MC. Let me issue some few disclaimers first. The millennials and then the Gen Zs here might be savvy at what I'm going to talk about than I do. But I'm going to talk to you about the ethical use of it. Because I read from you daily, and you seem to know more than I do, but you don't seem to know the ethics of it. So I'm here not to teach you how to use AI, because I know you are more experienced. It came in your time. In my time, we were in an analog. So you know a bit more, I presume. But I'm here to talk to you about how to responsibly use it. Don't be confused of the title on the board. I haven't made a mistake. This is a presentation I did about 3-4 months ago. I don't know how many slides they are. It was at the inception meeting of one of my projects, one of our projects. Maybe just a few slides, about 15 or 20 slides. It took me 2 days to prepare it. That's what I want to tell you about this. It took me 2 days to prepare it after I have read the document and gleaned out the information that I wanted to use for the presentation, to design it the way I want my presentation to be done, with the schematics and everything. It took me 2 days to prepare it. That's what I want to say. The presentation I'm going to talk to you about today, it took me 5 minutes to prepare. And it is longer than this because I used AI. So that's what I want to talk to you about. And when we finish, my hope is that by the time we get through, I have 1 hour. So I'm going to be very fast because I want us to talk about the presentation, and then we'll have about 30 minutes, half of the time, to do some practicals. And I don't see any computer here, so it means organizers. So it means this is an exercise in futility. I said we're going to be practicals. I said it. I wanted computers. No. Computers, no. Not mobile phones. If I ask you to be writing code and analyze your data on R or Python using AI, not on your phone. So it means what I'm going to do here, what I want to achieve, I wouldn't. And that's what we want, right? Yes. I was more about the practicals. I was going to quickly go through this. Anyway. Oh, this thing shouldn't be doing this. And I have to use this old computer because that's what I have all my programs on. My Python, my R, my everything. So I can't use my MacBook. So pray that it works. This is very old. Yeah, so as I said, this is what I want to talk to you about today. This is the topic I was given. And after I had prepared the materials I want to use, put them in a Word document, I just sent it to Gamma AI. And the Gamma AI created a presentation for me in 30 seconds. It took 5 minutes because I wanted to use UCC colors and logos, and I needed to give some prompts. And then it changed everything to UCC colors and logos, and that is 5 minutes. So that should tell you the advantages of AI already. So this has come to stay with us. Artificial intelligence has come to stay with us, and we cannot run away from it. Whatever you do, people are using it, and you must also use it. But how you use it is the problem. So it is revolutionary our exercise academic research writing. Since 2022, tools like Chat GPT came up, and then students started running to it. So we want to talk about how to responsibly use these tools in our work. We focus more on academic integrity, but harnessing the power of AI. Here I'm talking to the faculty here, academics, and I would love to read. UNESCO has produced 2 documents that I'm aware of. One is AI for teachers, and then AI used for students. This is copied from the AI used for teachers. I forgot to put a reference here, but I can supply data. He says that ethics of AI delineates the essential ethical values, policies, regulations, institutional laws, and practical ethical rules that academics need to understand and apply, draw from the rapidly expanding body of knowledge on the ethics of AI and their implications. So there must be some rules. But the question is, our university, do we have any rule yet? We should send our mind towards getting some rules that should guide academics in the use of AI. Ethical AI defines academics' progressively deeper understanding of fundamental ethics of AI, skills to make safe and responsible use of AI, comprehensive competencies. And that is why I think this is important that we also learn. I can see some of my students here. They don't know. But sometimes they will see a whole section of their write-up cancelled. Because immediately I start reading, I know that you have used AI and you didn't think. Immediately I start reading, I know this is 100% AI. And the other day, Shaibu asked me a question. He says that, what do I look for? There are some words, I'll keep mentioning them. Today I'll tell you. There are some words that AI is a robot, and therefore those words, it likes them. If I see you using comprehensively like 3 times in a paragraph, you have used AI. If I see you using, it has emerged as, revealed, notably, those are AI words. So students, I'm not telling you, I'm giving you the secret. And today I'm telling you, if you write to me, and if you like go to ChatGPT and say, what is artificial intelligence? It will use comprehensively 1 or twice. So when you start, apart from these words, because I use it, even without those words, I know when we have used AI. And of course, I also know everybody's level. So when the writing is at a certain level, I begin to question. So AI pedagogy proposes a set of competencies required. So I'm more particular about the competencies. It means that as academics, we also need to get the competencies. You cannot say AI is unethical and therefore you wouldn't learn about it. Your student will use it. You can't stop them. Last semester, one of my first degree final year student, project student, came to me, beautifully written thesis. The guy too wasn't too smart. Immediately I read them, I knew they say AI also, so say it's not AI, it's a science space. There's a science space in a what's the science space is an AI tool. Okay. The AI that we use, the one that we are talking about today, we have different types. We are talking about the generative AI. We have the predictive one, which predicts, but what we are talking about is the generative, the one that generates content for you. And the content can be pictures, can be music, can be code, can be write-ups. So we are talking about generative AI. It's defined by its ability to produce new original work of its own. I don't like the word of its own because it's never of its own. It has copied from billions of data. And I don't know if you guys listen to the news. Is it, how do they call it? NVIDIA. The Chinese AI company that has said that they have now reduced the cost of training the AI data set to about $5.6 or $5.2 billion. And because of that, it is bringing down stock markets in the US. Previously, training the data is hundreds of billions of dollars to train the data. It means that the data that you are copying from, when you write, tell me about Michael Oseyedu, and the AI is able to tell you something. It is not that AI has knowledge about me. It goes to billions of websites and then search information about Michael Oseyedu and puts them together in a nice language and then you copy. So there are issues of plagiarism. In fact, AI companies are being sent to court because they are copying information. So when you get a nicely written, don't think that, oh, this is original. It's not. Somebody's knowledge that has been put together for you. So AI systems create new content, such as text, images. But as I said, it is not entirely new. They do like marshmallow. They pick and then they mix them together like poto. So it's right. So how it works? You use large language models. Those of you who are into coding, large language models. So huge data sets. Deep learning models that are trained on massive amounts of text. And then they do pre-training and then fine-tuning, they become perfect. Then they develop one AI tool for you, and then you use it. You think that you are on the moon. You have been meeting these terms. I'm rushing through this because this is not what I want to actually show. So you have been meeting these terms. How do they relate? So you've seen artificial intelligence, which is the one we are talking about. You've seen machine learning, deep learning. Artificial intelligence is like the ombudsman, the universal set. It is the umbrella term encompassing all technologies that mimic human intelligence. And now there is a fear that it's going to even think more than humans. That is AI. Machine learning is a subset of AI that focuses on algorithms that learn from data. So machine learning, so in my line of work, I study plant roots, and you can see plant roots with your own eye. So if I can study small plant roots in a pot, I can give the data to the machine, and the machine can learn from the data and see, okay, so when the tip of the root meets an obstacle, this is how it behaves. Then it can learn from that data, so it can predict how the data is going to perform when it actually meets an obstacle in the soil. Machine learning is an algorithm that is based on data. And deep learning is actually a subset of machine learning, and that learns from various networks of layers. That it has networks. So when you read papers and you see the deep learning algorithms, you will see them drawing various networks, how the data was analyzed. But they are all artificial intelligence tools. Right. My pointer is playing up, and I don't like that. Do you have one? It's moved here, but it doesn't move on the thing. So okay. this is not the focus of today's topic, so I will just skip over. But I wanted to put this one in here because of the topic we are talking about today, about the integration of AI into climate smart agriculture. For this particular facet of the use of AI, it's not necessarily, today what I want to focus on is more about classroom, writing, data analysis, and things like that. But more importantly, AI is being used in the field. Now we have AI predicting the amount of fertilizer to apply, the amount of water to apply, how to control pests, and so on and so forth. That is where AI is making revolutions in many areas in climate smart agriculture. So that is also there, but that's not the focus of today's topic. So I wouldn't talk about that at length. What I want to talk about are some of these things. AI in grant writing for agricultural studies. So this is where ethics come in. Who knows the success rate of any grant application? We call it RFP. If you have any call calling for proposals and then you apply, what is the success rate? What is your chance of winning? Does anybody know? Can anybody tell me? Oh, I want it to be interactive a bit. So. Success rate, okay, I'll tell you. Mine is 10%. Mine is 10%. It means that if I write 10 proposals and win one, because we are competing with a lot of people, these people, I can bet you, are leveraging AI in writing. So if you sit aloof and you don't also learn how to use it, my 10% will even diminish to 0. That is just one aspect. The other aspect is that it takes you about 3 to 5 months to prepare a good proposal for some funding agencies. If you are applying to a funding agency like the European Union, the call itself is about 300 pages. The call that you need to read and understand is 300 pages. So how are you going to, read all this, understand the call text before you can think of what to write? Your 3 months is gone, and that's not the only thing you are doing. Leveraging AI helps you to go faster and be more efficient. So AI tools can be used for structural analysis and language enhancements. While AI can streamline the writing process, it is crucial to maintain researchers' unique expertise. And this is where the ethics come in. The best practice is that use AI as a supporting tool for brainstorming and refining. So use the AI to brainstorm. Let the AI read the text for you and tells you, these are the areas of focus in this 300-page document. So you can consider 1, 2, 3. Take those points, think of it, and write it. Don't worry about the language or how it flows. This is my style. We are talking about ethics. You have written it. Now you can give it to the AI to summarize it for you because it needs that section to be 300 words. You can give it to AI that this is my original text. Summarize it for me and give me 300 words. Once the AI has given you 300 words or 300 characters, don't think about the American or British spelling that are mixed up. Don't think about the mistakes or spelling mistakes or the language. That's why I also put it in the Word document and I click on Grammarly. I'm still talking about AI. And Grammarly will point out all the mistakes. Of course, I need to read because if you accept everything Grammarly tells you, you also accept wrong things. I will later on talk about the cons of AI. But one of the cons is what I'm going to tell you. The Grammarly that I use is not the one that you have for free. I pay $144 a year. The AI that I use, the one I use to prepare this presentation, you can have a free version, but mine I pay $9 a month. The one I use for my writing, Claude Perplexity, I pay $20 a month. So that is also the pros. Because somebody has used $5 billion or $100 billion to train a data set, it wouldn't come for free for you. So if you use the free versions, at some point in the day, they will tell you that you cannot use anymore until 9 p.m. So it tells you I know what I'm talking about, right? But if you have the one that I use, I can write and write and write, and nothing will happen because I've paid for it. Okay. So the impact of AI, everybody here, not everybody here, about 80% of you here will be writing thesis. Use it as a supporting tool. Let it supplement and transform the writing, the styles. The question that comes is it ethical to use AI for thesis writing? If it is unethical if you use AI to produce all your tests and send it to me. And for sure, I will know. Now I have some students who even write emails to me using AI. I get so angry. So email can get to me in mommy. Now they write email and maybe I start reading the email, how the test is framed and the verbosity of it. I know this is AI. Yeah? So now we don't even have critical thinking skill to write emails. So I'm teaching you about the use of AI. I'm telling you to leverage it, but I'm not asking you to throw away your sense. Hallelujah. You know this more than I do. Now when you go to the hospital, the young doctors that have come, whilst you are sitting there telling you that now my head aches, and when I sleep, one of my eye keeps opening, you see them typing it. And then they'll give you a diagnosis. So AI is everywhere, right? AI, industry, in daily life, in healthcare. Now when you go to one website to check for something, the following day your Facebook advert from that website is AI. So AI is everywhere, in commerce, target advertising, in entertainment. If you go to YouTube and you start looking for Paluta, the next day all Paluta new release will come to you. Mewa. Yes, that is AI. In academia, these are the cons. The disadvantages if you use AI too much. You don't use it responsibly. You lose personal touch and authenticity. That's what I said. When people write emails to me, my students, and they have used AI, there's no personal touch. I know this guy in the lab. I work with you. Minimum brofo level. And then the brofo that has been written to me in the email, you know clearly this is not this guy. It has no personal touch. And when you do that, imagine you have written to a potential PhD supervisor in America looking for studentship. Then the first impression is that this guy cannot think on his own. Or this girl writes with AI. He will not even read your email. And then AI is not sacrosanct. Especially those of us in Africa. AI is not sacrosanct. Because it makes mistakes. It can make mistakes and it makes mistakes. For us, we didn't contribute very much to the data that was used to train it. The data that was used to train it were all from the north. So when I do my presentations in Gamma AI, I give instructions. Give me images of black students. The black students that come, I think they are from India. Because it doesn't have a lot of data set on blacks. So if you use AI and you think that everything you are getting is sacrosanct, I have given you, discuss the principles that govern the translocation of water from the root to the leaf of a 100-meter tree. And then you copy verbatim and post. Know that the AI has a limitation. Of course, the data was trained up to a certain year. Maybe there's a new data set that has refuted all the previous data. When you bring it to me, I'll still mark you down. And you think that, do I know that better than AI? Yes, I do. I am a human being. So quality control and accuracy concerns. Yes. When you read, you know, all of you know, the text is unoriginal. It's generic. It's not authentic. You know it. Risks of generic or formulaic content, overuse of common phrases. I told you some. If you are using AI to write your results, it will never write an over. It will write an over and then also write the full version, regardless that you have already defined ANOVA is analysis of variance. It will continue writing the full version of it and put the ANOVA in parentheses. It will say the analysis of variance, ANOVA in parentheses, reveal that it will say revealed for sure. It will give you the t-test, the s-squared, the f-value, perfect, everything. I know. But if you are writing human beings, you don't want this verbosity. You say, there was a signal difference between treatment A and treatment B. P is less than 0.05. You are gone. But AI will give you about 5 lines. Immediately I know this guy have used AI. And then it emerged that, And I'm going to give you a comprehensive analysis that strategically, I know AI, it lies emphasis. Right. Impact on professional development, of course, both faculty and students. If you continue using AI and you live your life by it, when you get to that office in my hometown, a village near my hometown called Tadankro, there is no internet. You'll be useless. When your boss asks you to write just a simple statement, you cannot write because that place you don't have internet to write with AI. So you lose your professional development. You see that you are useless. And then cost. I've told you about the cost. I want to learn how it works so that I can see when my students use it. And also leverage it to improve my work. And because I leverage it to improve my work, I don't use the free ones. I have the ones I use free ones. I know ChatGTP, Claude AI, Perplexity, and others. They are more or less the same. I can tell you the pros and cons of each. So I've chosen one. I pay for Perplexity because it gives me real-time references. Claude AI writes better, but it gives fictitious references. And that is another thing you don't know. You bring a reference, when you click on it, it doesn't exist. And then biases and fairness. As I said, the data has been trained on Caucasians. The data has been trained on the North. Then you are using it to write about the South. It is biased. We don't even know the gender disparities in the training data set. So AI can be very, very biased. This is my go-to slide. AI tools for academic. There are, in fact, now there are what? Multiple dozens, if there's anything like that. There are more. But let's stick to some few. And I'm going to tell you the free ones and then the paid ones. But this is not entirely accurate because each of them has a free version and then what? And a paid version. So, chat and Perplexity, they are both chat box. They can write text. They write text. They generate text. PowerPoint is there. There's a PowerPoint there which is paid one. Gamma is also paid, but you can have free versions. The free versions will give you what they call about 8 cards. 8 cards is like 8 slides. And then it is done. What you do is that you can ask it to generate, maybe with time we will see some example. Generate a PowerPoint presentation on photosynthesis for you. It will generate an AI for you. But I don't like that one. What I will do is that I'll prepare my PowerPoint or my text in a Word document, and I'll give it to Gamma and say, create a PowerPoint from this for me. So last 2-3 months, I was going to teach as a visiting professor in Nottingham Trent University on irrigation. And of course, although I'm a physiologist and know irrigation, we have an irrigation expert here. So Dr. Ransford Darkon, I asked him to give me some information. And he brought me 9 information in a Word document. And I had 2 days to prepare and go and teach. I didn't have time. So I just checked, and when I was happy, I just gave it to the Gamma AI. I said, give me a presentation from this. And I went to teach, and they clapped for me. So yes, ChatGTP is there for research. ChatGTP is there, Perplexity is there, and Claude is there. The point I need to make here, each of this one has a free version with some limitations. Right. So if you want to literature review, let's talk about the students. AI powered search. Tools like semantic, by the way, who hasn't used Turnitin here? Everybody has used Turnitin, right? Who hasn't used Google Scholar? Everybody has used Google Scholar, right? And there are some of you, most of you don't do, but some of you use reference managers. Mendeley, EndNote, Zotero. You all use them, right? So if you are sitting here and you are holier than thou, and you say, I don't use AI, you are a liar. All those things are AI. If you have used Google Scholar, it's an AI. Mendeley is AI. Turnitin, AI. EndNote, AI. Ref Manager, AI. Zotero, AI. So if you are sitting here and you are beginning to judge us, we are also using AI. So Semantic Scholar, Research Rabbit, ChatGTP, Claude, Scholastic, Perplexity, Insightful, Elicit, SciSpace. That's why you didn't bring computer, and I'm a bit, but I'll show you how these ones work. Maybe one example on each of them. Writing assistance, Grammarly, I pay for it. So sometime, and they use me a lot in the university. From all corners, they will send me 300-page document and say, Prof, can you edit it for me? They don't know that I use machine. So sometimes it comes and it goes in 2 days and say, hey, Prof, you are good. You name the SC. Of course, I need to read. You need to have the subject matter content. You need to check because Grammarly will also tell you things that are not. If it doesn't understand the word, it will just say, like I am working in root system architecture. Grammarly will say, how can root have an architecture? Architecture is only for land or for building. So Grammarly will cancel it. So if you don't check, you just accept. So of course, I do check. But the time that I'll use to read the 300-page document, which normally will be about a month, I'll do it in 2 days. In Tvucc changes, and it comes and it is perfect. Because I leverage. It is not the AI that rules for me. It's been written, but I just want it to be perfect. You understand my drift? Good. So, Grammarly, Pro Writing Aid. Paraphrasing. I know the students use them a lot because we told them, don't copy and paste. So, they go to Edu Etal 2019, and then they copy the whole paragraph, and they give it to Quillbot, and say, paraphrase for me. We know it all. But what are the ethical considerations? That's why I'm talking about this. So while using AI tool, it is crucial to maintain originality, academic integrity, and ensuring the researcher's voice and ideas remain central. So once you have used Quillbot to paraphrase, read through and now try to change things to reflect your own perceptions. Don't give the Quillbot to me verbatim. That is unethical. I don't want to give, somebody has asked me, so what is the percentage of your, I don't know the percentage. But make sure the thing that is coming to you, you own it, you understand it. It reflects your understanding, your level of understanding in your language. Don't give the AI to me. Data visualization. You can have so many AI too that also does data visualization. And this is where, if you had brought your computers to, then I would have asked you, what do you use? I use R and Python. And because I know how to program, of course, to help me to do what I need to do. I'm not a programmer because I can do my analysis in R and Python. So when I'm using AI to program, analyze my data in R or Python, I understand what is going on behind the scenes. If you don't understand what ANOVA is, what is degrees of freedom, you don't understand sums of squares, and you use AI to generate code and give me the analysis, you are a cheat. That's unethical because you don't know what is going on. But I can give a data set to the AI and say, this is my data set, these are my treatment, this is my experimental design. What analysis do you think I can do? Already I have some analysis in my mind. Recently I did one and it gave me generally linear model to use. And I asked the AI, but this data is not a temporal data. It's like categorical data. So why are you asking me to use general linear model? The AI said, oh, Michael, I'm sorry, my apologies. I talked to it. I'll introduce you to prompt engineering. I talk to the AI. And sometimes I say, thank you. Say, you are welcome. Is there anything more I can do for you? That is how. So that's how you see me behind my computer. I'm laughing. I'm saying, no, that's okay. Thank you very much. I'm talking to the computer. Right. Citation management. We all have talked about these ones. So, some of you, we are beginning to write papers. And then you send, you get there. You get there very soon. You send a paper to, say, plant and soil. And it uses the Chicago or the Vancouver reference. And then it goes, and then editor reads the paper and doesn't like your name. So it says, reject, desktop reject. It comes, and then you want to send it to some journal that uses the IEA, which is the reference in parentheses. You have 72 references. It didn't work in plant and soil. You now want to immediately send it to another journal. That one uses I forgot the name of that reference tab. The one in parentheses, we're using numbers. You are going to sit down for 5 days to now rewrite all the references and number them. And I can bet you make a mistake. You make a mistake. But if you have used AI like Zotero or Mendeley or EndNote or Ref Manager to do your reference, you just go into and click no more plant and soil. Now to journals of botany. then the reference will change. 30 seconds. That is AI. If you not use this and you sit there and you say you are Jesus Christ, then you have a problem. Right. So, now AI can be considered an author. Do you know that? AI can be an author of a publication. So if you think that the people that you are writing, AI contributed 70%, just write Edu, M.O., Paul, Esari, Ranford Dakun, and then AI. When you do that, it will be accepted because we have been transparent. But of course, we are being trained to think. We don't want AI to write for us. So be transparent and disclose. But more importantly, researchers might balance AI assistance for original thought and analysis. Avoid over-reliance on AI-generated content. AI should be used as a supplement, not a substitute, for critical thinking and original research in agriculture and climate change. So it should be a supplement. It shouldn't be a substitute. So whilst we are looking at your paper, looking at irrigation methodologies to improve pineapple, when we have done your experiment and gotten your data, I can show you, and I'll show you here today, that AI can write from the introduction to the discussion. But that's not what I'm going to ask you to do. I'm going to ask you to rather think about your analysis, write it yourself, and let the AI improve it for you. Is that okay? Okay. Right. I'm going to skip on some of these sections. I don't think there are any developers here, so I'll skip them. I did these 2 slides for developers. There are some of the young guys here, the Gen Zs and the millennials. Some of them actually developed the AI tools. Yes, I have one of our students here who is now in Michigan State University, who now develops AI tools, and this is for them. So there are some ethical considerations to also consider when you are an AI developer. So what are the evolving ethical standards? As AI rapidly advances, academic institutions must develop and update policies for ethical AI use. So we are speaking to, I'm happy that the DAPCA director is here, Professor Daniel Japon, and he's also in charge of policy. So we need a policy on AI, Prof. So we must think about that. This includes creating guidelines that balance innovation with integrity in research processes. Implementing training programs like this one for faculty and students on responsible AI usage is crucial. That's why Tvucc has done so well about this. Although this is a crash course. When I did my training in AI, it was a whole day's training. But we are doing this. I've been given 1 hour, and I think I've spent 40 minutes already. So this program should focus on fostering critical thinking and AI literacy research methodologies. As I said, I'm not here to teach you how to use the AI, but how to use it responsibly. So while AI offers numerous advantages in academic work, it is crucial to use it judiciously. AI should complement human effort, not replace it. It is essential to remember that the heart of any academic work, the researcher's unique voice and perspective. When you have been cited, so when I go to my Google Scholar and I see Professor Edu cited 1,200 times, if I have used AI to write all those, I will not be proud. But because I taught critical thinking myself, when I see it, I get proud. The challenge is to strike the right balance, and I know it's difficult. When you are tired and the deadline is approaching, if you are not careful, you give me 100% AI. So start early. Don't put yourself under pressure to be tempted to do the wrong things, because this is also a sin. Judas will ask you. Right, so I was going to take some practice, but I didn't bring computers. Some brought. Okay. But I would, because I have not, we didn't even give the prior instruction of downloading some softwares and registering and things like that. I will just demonstrate one each. I hope the time will allow me, and then I will move on, and then I'll bring my session to an end. So we are going to take some practice. We will look at literature search. We will look at some data analysis and visualization, and we'll look at maybe one example in writing, and then, because I think that's what most people are. This is just for introduction, so then with practice, you become good at it. So allow me just to switch between some terminals. I hope the internet is working. So all these AI tools that I'm going to introduce you to, you need to have registered, you need to have an account. As I said, each of them has a free version that you can begin practicing with. But when you think that you need it so much for your daily work, you can decide to invest into it. So can they see my screen? Because I'm going to go to websites, different websites. Okay. Okay. So the first one I'm going to introduce you to, this is one for literature search. And I know many of you, let me see by hand those who know this one. Oh, really? It's called Insightful. So what does Insightful do? You can, what I normally would do is that I'll go to Google Scholar and I'm looking for a particular paper. Say, the effect of phosphorus on plant root systems. And I find a paper there. I can copy the DOI of that paper or copy the title of that paper and come and put it here in Insightful. And when I put it in Insightful, Insightful will give me all papers associated with it. So I don't have a paper. Let's start with maybe a question. And see. Pray that the internet is strong. Okay. You still cannot see my screen because I'm going to another screen. This is going to be difficult. It will come. No, internet is working. It's just it's the port that is a problem. Okay, so what I have done is that I typed a paper that I'm working on. I'm currently looking at a paper I'm writing now, looking at how does plant roots reinforce soils against soil erosion. And one of the things I'm looking for is, does the position of the slope, is it foot slope, mid slope, or up slope? Does it moderate how plant roots work? So I just put the effect of plant roots, the effect of slope position on erosion prevention capacities of plant roots. And when I put it in Insightful, Insightful will give me all relevant papers on this particular topic. And it will tell me how many times it's been cited, when it was published, where it was published, every information. You can actually interrogate, you can chat with Insightful, it will tell you everything about that paper and the summary of that paper. So if you are doing literature review, this is one way, and it will give you all the papers that are connected to the topic that we have put in there. So at a glance, you have many papers related to your topic that is summarized for you. Let's do that with another one, which would show it more clearly for you to see. Let's do this. This is where we need the internet to be fast. So this one is called Elicit, and it's also for literature review. So the first thing that comes is ask a question. So I can begin by asking a question. What is the effect of plant roots on erosion prevention. And then let's go. This one is not paid for. If I have paid for it, it will give me an infinite number of papers. But when you have not paid for it, it gives you the first top 4. Is that right? So it says summary of top 4 papers. Good. And what it has done is that instead of you going to read all the top 4 papers and then summarizing them, Insightful has found the top 4 papers related to your topic that you asked and has summarized the top 4 papers and put the references in there for you. So how many days would it have taken you hours to read the 4 papers and summarize yourself? Insightful, so I don't know whether you can see. Let me see if I can expand it a bit more. I can't expand. Control plus, let's see. Good. So it has given me the top 4, but if I have paid for it, it will give me more. And already he's saying, plant roots play crucial role, blah, 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 with fruits being particularly effective in reducing real dry Gary erosion. It has cited a person. So imagine I had paid for this, and I'm doing literature review on the topic. It would have summarized 20 papers for me, something that most students do not do, and they copy. So you see, as cited by Edu, as said in Esare. Because they are reading from secondary information. They don't even look for the papers. I saw somebody cite a paper from 1917. And I asked him to get me the paper. He said, I didn't see the paper. We can do a lot more. Let's see. What it also does, each of the papers. So each of the papers that has been selected, this is the first paper. It gives you the abstract summary. The second paper, the abstract summary. So without even reading the paper, you have the summary of all those papers at your fingertips. Is that not cool? But some of you also copy this and bring it to me verbatim. And that is where the problem is. And that one, direct, I don't know how we can train against. So because of time, I wouldn't waste my time here. You can now, so now you know Insightful. You know Elicit. You can go on to Insightful, register, and then practice. And there are videos on YouTube how it works. This is just introduction. There are many, many things. It can give you graphs. You can actually ask it to extract data. Now, extract the data and create tables for it from you if you are doing meta-analysis. So now I'm just introducing you to it. Go online, register on Insightful, Elicit, or SciSpace. SciSpace, that's similar thing. You can draw the connections, what somebody said and somebody did not say, the consistency and contradictions. It will give you all these things if you know how to navigate the site. And there are videos of how these things work on YouTube that you can learn. So 3 things for literature review: Elicit, Insightful, and SciSpace. We can move on, right? Good. Let's go to the next one. The next one was what? The next one I wanted to talk about was data analysis. Okay, so let's do a bit of Claude. So, this is my Claude. You see, he knows me. Claude AI. There are 3 I use. I don't like ChatGTP. ChatGTP is overused. So I use Claude and Perplexity. I haven't paid for this. So this one, when I use, and then he says, you cannot come back until 9 p.m., then I go to Perplexity, which I can use forever. So, I'm going to demonstrate the potential or the possibility of doing your data analysis in Claude. But I'm not asking you to copy everything. The danger is that I'm going to give you the data. The data I'm going to give it is fictitious, right? The danger is that every information you supply to the AI tool is also available to the world now, right? So if you think that you are smart, and therefore your data that I've collected on the field or in the lab, you will just upload it to the AI tool and it does the analysis for you. You have also sold yourself. You have given your everything. So it is now going to be used to train If your proposal that you are writing, you want AI to improve it for you, so your proposal, you submit it to AI. I am also in Zavelugu writing the same proposal. When I ask AI about proposal on that topic, it will give me information from yours. So the danger is when you give everything to the AI, you have given everything to the world. Hallelujah. Okay, so let's see. So I had some prompts I prepared. See if I can find it. Okay, so you cannot see this, but let me see if I can expand it a little bit. So look at what I have done here, if you can read. What I have done here is that I am going to ask the AI to give me a code to analyze my data in R. I don't want to do too much thinking at this stage. So I have even told the AI the name of my data frame. Those people who use R uses data frame. You save the data in CSV, in data frames. Is that right? So I've told the AI the name of data frame so that the AI will use the data frame name to actually write the code. So I don't necessarily need to change so many things in the R. I'll just copy and paste and my analysis will be done. Is that okay? So I said, this is my data frame called targettrial.csv. This is how I have saved my data, which contains soil penetration resistance or cone index called CI data measured from an experiment investigating how plants prevent soil erosion. It was measured at 3 locations on a slope and at 3 soil depths. 2 plants were investigated plus control with no plant. Some treatments only involve plant roots and others had both roots and shoots. Could you suggest the best analysis for this and provide an R code to analyze this data? From the data, upload to creation of suitable figures for publication in a high impact journal. So the AI has been given information. But remember, the moment I put this data and this question there, I have also supplied my work that I'm doing to the whole world. Amen. Okay. So let's see. So what I'm going to do is go here. Okay, let me copy this first. So copy this. Director, do you see what I told you that my 1 hour is too short? So if I need to stop, then you tell me. Right. 5 minutes? Yes, please. Okay, so it's not me. We couldn't go anywhere. So I'll put my thing here, and then you see attach here. So I'll go to the presentation where I save my data. I'm looking for presentations. Presentations, and TAGF, and I think it's in ref, and then it's here. So if the internet is working, it has attached. When I click this, it will give me, it is now thinking, right? It is thinking. So have you seen comprehensively? Or did you see it? I will help you analyze this data comprehensively. I told you, right? It will use comprehensively. I don't know why. Let's create a thorough analysis plan for this. So it tells you what it has done. On the left-hand side, it tells you and explains everything, the processes. You can read the processes, the analysis method that is chosen, and everything. But what it has done here in the black section, it has programmed, giving me an R code. So because of time, I'm not going to do it. But if I go to R and I copy this code, it will analyze my data and create figures for me, for my paper, in 3 seconds. And I can now interrogate and say, no, the figure that I have, it has grid lines. I don't like grid lines. Remove the grid lines. Make the font bigger. Remove this. Take the title off. I will now chat with it, and then it would revise until I get what I want. And then I'll copy and paste my PowerPoint. Once this is done, because of time, I'm not going to. Once this is done, I can tell, okay, so now that you have used this analysis for me, can you draft methodology for me? It will draft methodology from A to Z for the data analysis. But it will use AI language, which if you don't take and edit, I will know and every editor will know. I can now pick my results from the R that I have analyzed and come and give the results and say, okay, so when we did the analysis, the results that we got, could you write the results for me? It will write me the results section perfectly. After writing the results section and methodology, I can now pick the whole thing and attach and say, okay, so this is my introduction. This is my results. Now, can you give me areas of discussion, even give me content for discussion? It will discuss. But again, if you copy everything and come and paste to me, that is unethical. Are we here? Okay. Because of time, I won't go. The other one I was going to show was that I was also going to give you a call for proposals. I was going to give a call, which is long document, and ask the AI to read. Okay. Okay, so those of you, if you know how to use R, I'm not using a studio. I'm using the console. So the console, the first thing I need to do is to change my directory. So I want to change my directory to. I can project, right? No. So I want to change my directory to where my data is saved. So I go to Tvucc, I go to refs, and my data is here. So I've selected my directory where the data is saved. Now I am going to the R. I will copy all this. What I will normally do, I want to study the code. And this is where if you don't understand the code yourself, you have a problem. So I'll put it in Word document. I'll put it in Word document and look at the code and see if everything is okay. So I've asked it to, so it's asking me to download some, install some libraries, call some libraries, and then call my data set. So I'll now call my data set, install the libraries and call my data set. Let's see if that works. So now it is giving me an error file. RT cannot open the connection. In addition, warning message in file RT cannot open the file target. No chat file exists. So it means that maybe the name of the file that I gave is incorrect. And this is where if you don't know it, so I have target underscore trial underscore that.csv. And that is in refs, right? That's called. I see. Oh, okay. I see why. So now the name in the refs, I don't know if you can see, is wrong. I have double CSVs. So this is where it becomes problematic. So let's go back. Let's see. Now it has downloaded. So my data is there. So now let's do some analysis. I'm going to do up to one figure because of time. So I'm copying so many code at the same time, which I don't like, but let's see. Okay. So figure. So let's do fig 1 and see what's happening. We are done. Aren't we? How many days would have taken you to do this? Huh? So we are done. They say time. So let me go to.
So you have extra 5.
Okay, good. Let's do one on. Let me do this. I think what we'll do is that at some point we'll have time for the practice because we don't do the practice under rush. So I'll introduce you to prompt engineering, how you write the prompts in R in the next 5 minutes and then close. Because the practice swapping between, can we go to the PowerPoint? You are taking 1 minute of my 5 minutes. Right. So, my plan was, I will show you the practice of using it to write grants, the practice of using it to write thesis, and doing analysis and things like that. But I don't like the pressure with it. That comes with it. So I'm going to introduce you in the next 5 minutes about prompt engineering, and I think that should work. So how, you see the prompt, the long prompt that I gave. That long prompt that I gave, we have different stages of giving the AI prompts, giving it messages to do whatever you want it to do for you. The first one is called a naive prompt pattern. Naive is, you can say, give me an example of how to analyze data in R. It will just write plenty, which is very basic. So naive is simply asking direct question or giving a straightforward instruction without special formatting or guidance. So maybe, what is a research proposal? That AI will give you plenty information. But you can go further from the naive and go to what we call persona pattern. Persona pattern is where you involve asking the AI to assume a specific role. So if I had gone further, you would have seen some of my prompts saying that as a reviewer of NIH grants, NIH is one of the American grant agencies. NIH grants, consider this call for proposals and give me ideas of how to respond. So it is now acting like a reviewer who has seen so many grants. It is using the person of the reviewer. I can say, as a reviewer of Plant Physio Journal, could you write the discussion method of these results for me? Because he knows what the reviewers of Plant Physio Journal looks for. So you give it specific instructions, and now it's now thinking like the reviewer of Plant Physio Journal. That is a persona. That's a persona prompting. And then we have the chain of thought. The chain of thought is you give specific instructions in series. So you can say, okay, I am going to attach call for proposals document. I'll also attach sample methodology or sample objectives that I have drafted. Don't do anything yet. I'll follow up with questions. Then it will say, okay, Michael, thank you. I am waiting for the next question. Then I'll say, okay, now consider the objective that I have drafted and tell me whether it responds to the call proposal. Then it will go, okay, the objective I have drafted, you may improve it 1, 2, 3 to align to the call. So it is giving me chain of thoughts. And I'll say, okay, so based on the objective that you have given, can we revise the second objective to reflect so and so? Yes, I can. He will say, certainly, and to revise. Then chain of thought, I go, okay, based on the objective that we have written, can you give me the deliverables or the work packages of the proposal? You say, certainly. Here are the work packages, which has been comprehensively written. So the chain of thought, you are giving specific instructions one after the other. Then we have the tree of thought, which is another level of the chain of thought, which involves various layers and various trees. But we wouldn't go through that now. So that is how you give the instructions. And you can give the instructions, and it will give you all that you are requiring. Each point, you are modifying it. Each point, you are modifying it. The trouble is when you finish and you take everything verbatim and give it to somebody, and give it to the journal, and give it to your thesis supervisor, and give it to anybody else, you have been very unethical. Thank you very much.
I don't know. This one is too small. The clap was too small. Personally, I don't like the way we are rushing you out. But again, we need to manage the time, so forgive us. Because of how we want to run it. We allow 2 or 3 questions, and then we take the next presenter. We'll come to a stage where we interact, taking all the 2 presentations. That will be done. But in your own kosa. So if you want to ask a question, quickly let me see. I want to also say that we have dignitaries among us. At the right time, we acknowledge them. And so we also want to thank our audience online who are following us. Currently, we can talk of about 1,000, right? Following us. So it's very important.
Okay. So I am Joel, BKC, Crop Science. Thank you very much, Prof, for the presentation. In fact, some of us have been wondering about this and how do we position ourselves, especially in light of student research work. The student brings a research, he has done everything, you look at it, and straight away you can see that this is an AI-generated material. Do you throw everything away? And meanwhile, you are under pressure to produce marks for that student to be able to graduate. So this will be part of the things that I think the university will have to look at so that we are giving direction on this. Because if you decide that this project cannot pass, you are a bad person. And people will not look kindly at you for not allowing somebody who has stolen to graduate. Of course, they wouldn't know the stolen aspect. Then my second point is it possible to make some of these softwares available university-wide, especially for lectures? This, we have Turnitin and others. I don't know whether we have it university-wide where lecturers can access and use. I think it should be possible to do that so that it can help us. Because look at the money that you are quoting. Some of us may not have that deep pocket to be able to afford 120 and then all those kind of things. Yes, so that is my point. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. So I'll take additional 2 instead of the 5. So we invite the next presenter. But there will be a session again. Prof will not go away.
All right, thank you very much, Doc. So yes, the first point you make is a very dicey point. Yes, as I said, my students have sent written work to me that is almost 100% AI, and I've rejected them. And that is also the more reason why, as academics, we also need to be savvy of the AI and how it looks like, so that you will know. And my responsibility as an academic is to train the students to have critical thinking. So if there's someone there here, they will tell you, I cancel it and say, this is AI generated, go and revise it. And it has to, I don't care about the type. If you bring your work to me 2 days to the deadline, then you will not graduate. So I need to ensure that there's some ethics in what we do. So that I do. The second point you make, I think the university, we're beginning to make inroads. It is not perfect yet, but we're beginning to make inroads. Some of this AI, in fact, there dozens are channeled daily. So if you say university should even make them available to you, I don't know which ones, because the ones that I showed you are the ones that came up maybe last year. Now there are about 1 billion of them. So there are 1 big channel, but there are conventional ones that we can ask our university to get it available for us. And I can cite an example. I'm not afraid to mention. KNUST subscribes to Grammarly. KNUST. They pay, the university pay an institutional Grammarly subscription. So it is a plugin in every KNUST faculty's Word document. That when you finish writing, you just click and it checks for you. It is UCC, we don't have it, so I pay $144, which is huge. I don't like doing it. So some of this we can begin pushing for institutional subscriptions. But the one that we have done, we have turned it in. My students will tell you, my master students, you don't submit an assignment through paper. I give you instructions and you submit through Turnitin. And I tell you my SI index is the similarity index is 18%. So before it comes to me, you check. If it is more than 18%, you pull it down and do it again. So the university subscribes to Turnitin, and you should have an account. So before you even submit your own paper, you can push it through Turnitin. Ask your students to be trained through it, so they submit their assignments through Turnitin. So we are beginning. We have now also paid for Science Direct and Scopus. So we are making inroads, but of course there is more to do. What we are not doing, I think the reference managers. I like EndNote. That is the one I was trained on, but I don't have EndNote. But Zotero is perfect and it is free. Zotero is what I use now. It is perfect. It does everything I want and it is free. Mendeley is also free. So look at the free versions and then let us use it. So that's what I would say. Thank you.
A round of applause. Let me go to the top here. I assume that after that, we can invite the next presenter. Okay, 2 from here.
Thank you very much. Michael, I think this is a very beautiful presentation. Let's first acknowledge that. We clapped and we underclapped. So the MC had to protest. We should have clapped better. Nonetheless, in my view, this requires a whole special training workshop where from presentation to hands-on activities, we hold our laptops, download certain things, go through the practices along with you, and then we master the art. Because for educational purposes, also as an educationist, this is not something that is just delivered in a seminar where you want people to imbibe knowledge to that level and can make them efficient in utilizing it. So I want to suggest through that to the chair, but not the chairman, because he said he's the chair. So we need a man who will sit on the chair. So I suggest to the chair and also to the leadership of the school to find a way of breaking it into or organize it into a kind of bigger workshop series. Then both faculty and students can go through the training processes, maybe with even a preparation of a training manual where people will hold and then master the art. Otherwise, particularly the faculty, well, currently the BBCs seem to be a bit out of the scene now. I hope you know the BBCs, those born before the computers. They seem to have almost phased out now. And majority of those currently are those who are more active as far as the use of IT is concerned. Nonetheless, new programs come, new facilities come, and it requires training and retraining so that we are current with issues. So, judging from even the rush, and the MC, and Jukunedu made a remark that I don't like the way we are rushing you out. It tells you that there's much meat to bite, but there's not enough time probably to chew. So we cannot assimilate the information as much as we would have wished. So it's my appeal. It's a good thing, very good, so that we can organize it in such a way that people imbibe it properly. And since it's supposed to be almost a day-to-day usage in our academic pursuit. Thank you.
Round of applause for him. Let me go to Prof. Prof, you'll be the last for this and then.
Okay, so Michael, again, kudos to the organizers and then Michael for doing such a wonderful presentation. I just wanted to add my voice to say that we should be careful when you're using AI with regards to the rules governing the assignment that are given. I was just giving somebody an example in Germany. when we were having a similar training, that AI is supposed to help you, but if there are traffic lights on the way, you have to stop when it's red, and you have to move when it's green. For that one, you need to know that rules. Other than that, when you get there, the AI will give you some top speed and you will get to your destination, but you would have violated all the traffic rules and knocked down people on the way. If you have this at the back of your mind, it will help you embrace AI. I recall 2012 or so, my supervisor said I was too fast, because most of the things we were using at that time was AI generated, even in China. So receiving an introduction today, I think that it's up to you now to go and sit down and learn. He cannot teach you all today because there are a lot of them, and new ones keep coming based on the comments we give to the AI. But the other caution I want to sound is that in using AI, for instance, the other example that was given, you are asked to draw a hippopotamus, and you have lived all your life in Accra. You've not seen one before. You ask AI to do it. AI will do it for you, but it's up to you now to draw the hippopotamus as you see with your eye. With this at the back of your mind again, no one will be able to catch you for copying or doing things unethically. I learned how to drive using AI, and I told my student I can now fly a plane because I did it using AI. That's why now we have the artificial intelligence food lab. It is through AI. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I wish, as we normally do during our seminars and all that, but time wouldn't permit us. But at least, with all humility, can we be upstanding? Can we be upstanding? Just be upstanding. Just be upstanding. Just be upstanding. Sit down again. Sit down again. I won't use those tricks, so don't worry. If I say sit or stand, depending on what happens, my sit will be stand, and my stand will be sit. So if I say sit down, it might mean stand up. Do we get the instruction? My sit is stand, and my stand is sit. So all of us sit down. I got two people. Okay, all of us sit down again. All of us stand up. You see. On that note, we also want to encourage our participant online. Please send your comment when we come back after this presentation, and then we have some time to do the general discussions, of course, based on even the three presentations. So, with a round of applause, we want to invite the director of DAPCA, who is part of School of Business, who wouldn't want me to introduce him more, but I know he is called Professor Ejapon. Please take us on.
Is it already afternoon? Or it's afternoon?
No, it's morning.
Good morning. And I'm happy Michael has done my work for me. So I have a very short assignment to talk more about entrepreneurship and then probably the use of AI. All right.
Car number, I'm trying the mic through. Car number GW655918. Please move to your car. Respectfully, attend to your car. Thank you.
Yes, so Michael already did the work, and so I have a very simple task to talk more on entrepreneurship and entrepreneurial training and how we can incorporate AI in much more ethical manner. So I've already been introduced, and I just massage my title just a little bit. Where I talk about young entrepreneurs, I'm talking about where we have the young people. So first of all, I want to start off with ethics. I'll talk a little bit about ethics, and my question is that I'll be engaging right from start. When we talk about ethics, any ideas from you? What are ethics? When we say ethics, what do we mean? I've heard doing things right, yes. Ethics, anyone at all? Sorry? I can hear you saying something, but can you echo a little bit? Ethics, yes. Doing things in an acceptable way. Mm-hmm. Standards, yes. Any other? Ethics, yes, sir. Following protocols, yes. Mm-hmm. Yes, any other? I've heard acceptable. I've heard following protocols, right, doing it right, etc., etc. So there are so many definitions, and I guess if I should ask you to go on your phone, you can give me 1,000 definitions with some of the standards talking about how we move between right and wrong, good and bad, acceptable and unacceptable. But my definition of ethics is doing the right thing when nobody is looking. So that's how I define ethics. So I always give an example. I mean, you go to the washroom, you exit, you wash your hand, there are towels there, including your towel. And the voices will come. Use the other one, then you say, no, I'll use my own towel. Nobody is watching, but you do the right thing. So that's how I define ethics. Can we get this enlarged a little bit? That is how I define ethics. And I think that is at the core of our discussion this morning. It applies everywhere. Everything you do, including when you are doing your exam, you are doing your quiz, you are doing your assignment. I had one experience here in this university when I was employed. Now I'm a little, I said I have flesh more. But those days, I didn't have white beard too. So when I put my back part and we meet, you can't actually distinguish whether I'm a student or not. I went into one room somewhere, and there were students, master students, filling questionnaires. There are 2 of them. And they were filling questionnaires. So I'm sure they will pick and start taking agree, and then they change over. It's not Tuli. Me, I give a lot of Tuli, but this is not one of my Tuli. No, here. There were 2 people in the room, and you see, the supervisor was not there, isn't it? The supervisor was not watching, and they were taking. They will take, and then so you run data, you get your results, you put it into the research community. Who knows what a research community is? Anybody? Can you tell me what a research community is, especially the students? You get your results, you put it into the research community, and then you want people to rely on those findings to make decisions. So that is how I define ethics. And per the conversation we are having, that is our main, that's the thrust of the matter. Osman, let's move. That's the thrust of the matter for me. And our ethical stance is shaped by several things. How we obey rules and regulations. I tell my students always that I feel, I have not tested, that there's a correlation between cheating in exam and embezzling money at a higher office. That is how, and I say that we do worse things and sometimes we end up going to blame politicians. We do worse things. So, can you do the right thing when nobody is looking? We normally talk about plagiarism, but when I took an exam with SIM UK, I understood that there is another concept that is more dangerous. It's called collusion. Who understands what collusion is? When I give an assignment for 20 marks, you don't do it, you go and pick somebody's assignment and bring it to me for another 20 marks. So one assignment is now warranting 40 marks instead of what? 20 marks. And sometimes you just copy. You copy here and you copy index numbers. You copy. I remember one financial management quiz. Somebody copied somebody's index number. I thought was an answer. So, these things we do, I think the sociologists, if they are here, will bear me out, has everything to do with our morals. There's a huge connection between the way you comply with social values. Hello. And I'll be telling you some very. What's a baby, mommy? Level AI, yes, AI. Abeko. I saw you. So I just put it into it, and then a second, I said, wow. Then I said, hey. My first word was, Nyamin Shrabruni. Well, within a second, I had it. Within a second, I had it. So, I mean, the people are now specializing in just writing. They're specializing in just writing. Yes. So those days, people who couldn't now, my fine boy. Those days, those who couldn't write play are now writing plays. No, people are now writing plays. If you can see now, a lot of the movies you watch, I'm talking about entrepreneurship, so please, take note of that. It's AI. One of my colleagues said there was a book that the parent read to him. And when he gave birth to his children, he was always reading the book. And one time just summarized and told the AI that this is the book they've been reading for me, and this is where it ends. What else can you add? I didn't know, dear. What else can you add? Then the AI expanded that book. So people are now writing creatively because of AI. And these are spaces you can make money. These are spaces you can make money. Michael was talking about grants. Sometimes you get some of the things, not that even is bulky. It's not bulky, but the things they've written. Michael. Because, Charlie, it's English, but I mean sometimes after school, you know, you go and speak to and others are, but there is consistent English. So you don't understand. And I remember the value chain lead. When we got that thing, we didn't even know how to go around. I mean, the English. So I woke up sometimes when it happens that like that, I'll put it down until midnight. When you people will be breaking me on the Casford field. I break a Japan in the name of Jesus. Then I woke up, put it into charts, prompt engineering, and the things we got, I was amazed. There was no way I could have thought about it. There was no way. So when you see that they are proposals, Charlie, you can also apply. Especially the one, master students, you know, I hope you are aware there are a lot of, even DAD gives a lot of grants for your research work. I don't know whether you are aware. Oh, you are not. DAD, type DAD, go to their website. A lot of short, small grants for financing your master's research work. But you can just Google. I need small grant for my dissertation or my thesis or something. You get. Michael, they should see me at the Okay. So, guys, these are the things that we are talking about. And it is your time, it's not our time. I had struggled a lot to get into this AI space. But my 9-year-old daughter, the things she does, and you just pick the phone, do it like this, then something. How did you do it? Oh, you don't know? Hey. So there are so many spaces you can make money now. Gamma, I've just told you. I don't know how many know how to use Gamma. Canva. Hey, Raise your hand well. I want to know whether you know how to use Canva. Hey. Michael, please, this workshop must be done again. Hey, Canva, wedding, your wedding invitation card and all those things. You don't need to send money to anybody. You don't need to send money to anybody. You can do it and make money. And some of the things, sometimes you see that people have designed certain things. It's Canva. And it took a student to tell me Canva, just one student. One of my foreign classes, the presentation was Canva. I said, hey, how did you get this? I said, oh, you don't know Canva is an app on your phone. Are you aware Canva is on your phone? Ah, it's on your phone. It's there, it's free. It's on your phone. So that is where we are. So the ethical issue is that please do your business, do everything you want to do, but please make sure that you are within the rules of the game, or you are within the, the moral principles and all the fairness, and you need to comply with that. So I try getting a few things because Michael has done the job extensively for me. So, you see, I've highlighted a few things here. The microphone, is it working? Okay. I've highlighted a few things here. In fact, first of all, if you just need a business idea, okay, you can chat with ChatGPT. Just chat. That's what Michael was talking about, the prompt engineering. You can talk to ChatGPT. And he has a huge database, huge. And normally, through iteration, they are able to give you some information based on what is in there. So, is it a business idea that you need? I think this is one of the areas you can rely on artificial intelligence. Okay? Obviously, to help you to search. So sometimes what I do is that I search from ChatGPT, I move to Copilot. It depends on what I'm doing. I try. Even Gamma can give you. Gamma is what I'm using. Gamma can even give you some very good ideas. I told you that I was called to make a presentation on work-family conflict. It was just a short notice. And quickly, I just put into it. Gamma would always give you an outline and ask you to approve of the outline. Once you approve, then it will generate that one for you. So one of the things is that it makes you very much efficient. In fact, for us academics, one of the use for AI for me is the fact that it's now able to deal with the routine and then mundane task. Now, if I want to prepare my slides, even from my textbook, all that I do is that once I have a soft copy of it, I can easily put it into the, the software, and then it will do it for me. And I allow my students to do that. I allow them. Earlier on, there was a question as to where are we going now? The truth of the matter is that now, if you are assigned to me as a research student, your defense starts from the very first day you are assigned to me. Every day, once we meet, or every time we meet, I want to make sure that you are doing the work yourself. For institutions, presentations now is a major issue. So when we ask you to do presentations, it is very important. It's for your own, good. Because we know that a number of the things, you will not do it. Because some of you also know how to beat Michael Edu. I know. He is smart, but I know. Some of you know how to beat him. Some of you know how to beat him. So now, examination, and I have made this recommendation. I remember I had a similar workshop in one university. I said now, examination is very, very important. Some portion of it, we need to sit in and write for us to see. For us to see whether really, because I tell people here, it's not a vocational school. That's why we learn theories. Theories are very important. It's not a vocational school. So it's very important. So it helps you in trying to get business ideas. You go online, can help you. Look, once you get a business idea, put it into ChatGPT, as Michael said. Ask a lot of questions about, so this idea, are there alternatives? It will give you the alternatives. Okay? In Africa, in Ghana, we don't have so much data in a lot of these AI. So anytime I have asked Gamma, please change the images and give me a University of Cape Coast or something, then before I realize it's picking something. But gradually, as we feed in, it is responding. So if you want to know how to write a business plan, or if you develop a business plan, and in fact, it will write for you. Once you prompt it, it will write for you. But anytime I've asked it to do something for me, I go back and ask. I ask it to review. And that's when you realize that, as Michael said, there's a difference between artificial intelligence and human intelligence. You wrote a thing for me. I asked you to review. And then your review gave me a long list. And I said, okay, incorporate it, the changes. It will incorporate it. But if you ask it to review, it will review and give you a long one. So that's it. And sometimes I prompt, as Michael said, I say, so and so, please review this form. So you can develop your business plan with these tools and review it. And it will help you to do that. If you don't know how to develop a market assessment or conduct business feasibility, it can help you to do that. All that you need to do is to prompt it that you want to set up an online delivery system. And so you want it to help give you the guideline. It will give it to you. And then you ask it, can you let me know the other organizations or the other online delivery businesses and what they are doing? As far as the information is available, it will bring it to you. And then you can ask, so what can we do different from what they are doing? As much as their information is online, it will be able to pull and help you with that. Fraud detection, I will not talk about everything, but fraud detection. So I don't know how many of you are in construction, but Google Earth, for instance, is a very good tool now for monitoring and evaluation. Yes, for monitoring and evaluation. If you set up a good system, it's able to collect data. So if the project is in Tamale, you don't have to travel to Tamale necessarily. You don't have to. So it will help you. So some of them now, I don't know how many have been to China recently. Now some of the machines that when you get to the airport, the AI will be looking at you. Then you are walking and they come and pick you. Why? You are a potential criminal. The AI has spotted you. So they take you out. So there are quite a lot of very interesting things happening. So they spot you. Yes, you are walking and they come and pick you. Gradually, we are moving away. I'm a business person. Gradually, we are moving away from the use of normal cards. Even your phones now, you are going to more eSIM. So that wherever you go, you have, you'll be able to access internet. So it helps us. And of course, if you have established a business and you want to get in touch, provide constant customer support, there are a number of generative AI tools that can help you to do that. So I've sort of gone through these elements. Its application in training, because that's one of the things that I was asked to talk about. AI helps in personalized learning. Okay, in fact, now we can learn a lot more. You can learn with robots. You can learn with robots. There are some of them. I don't know your experience with robots, but I was a robot that is assisting in sales. I was in one electronic shop in Germany, and I was just walking and I saw something following me. And I saw it was a robot. I nearly asked if my people were following me. And then it stopped and asked me whether it can help me, because it can help me find what I want to find early enough. Then if I agree I should type somewhere, then I type. Then it asks that I should follow. Okay, the voice was a female voice. So he asked that I should follow her. And I was following her. Nobody had a problem with it too, assuming it was Ghana. And within a second, it told me that I can pay at that point, or I can, what do we call it, go to the counter. And I said I wanted to go to the counter. And it asked me if I know my way to the counter. I said yes. And he asked, is there any other, can it help me? I said no. Then thank you. And then the robot left. So that's it. Small and medium-sized owners don't have any database. I was in one of the banks, I think, is this, Stanchart is now the ABSA, eh? Is it the one you call ABSA? ABSA is what? Okay, then it's ABSA. In Kumasi, immediately I entered, there was something I need to type a few information. So I did type, and then it automatically gives me a receipt. And then later they call me, and then they serve me. When it comes to records keeping, it has been one of the worst part of small and medium-sized businesses. They don't keep records. They don't. In fact, most funders have tried to assist them based on their, the records they have. They don't. They don't have report. But there are a lot of softwares that can, AI tools that can help you. Virtual mentors, AI-powered coaching, providing 24/7 guidance and support. Even chat GPT can be a coach. Like I was telling you, you ask questions and then they try to respond to that. Of course, we all know the essence of what? Data analytics. Currently, they just came to tell us that over 1,000 people are watching us online. Big data and data analytics. Quickly, you can easily tell, how many people are even patronizing your service. So these are things that, and these are whole areas of business. I know maybe we have a lot more graduate students here, correct? Correct. Database. I taught database in marketing some years ago, and I realized a huge market. The whole country, we have not taken advantage of it. Databases. I don't know how many use secondary data, but you go and buy, isn't it? You go and buy data. A couple of years ago now, that's what we've started doing. In my consultancy, we've started compiling, because I work more in small and medium-sized businesses. I'm trying to get data on small and medium-sized business. So for instance, Cape Coast, how many do I have? What areas are they operating? How long have they been around? What are the number of employees they have? Funding, I don't know, Michael is not there, but most often they're not. Funding. Those are some of the things that they look at. The last 2 weeks, one that we submitted, they wanted to know student computer ratio at the University of Cape Coast. How many computers a student. So for those of you doing Master of Philosophy, data, you can, since you are in Agric, they having a database. Like the others are doing it, but they can do it. Number of farmers producing a particular product, their yield, it's not readily available. Sometimes the way you struggle before you get it. So that in itself is a huge business. Sometimes AI will support you to be able to do that. I've been told I have to whet your appetite for entrepreneurship. And so these are some of the things that I would want to share with you. I'll be wrapping up soon. Let's go, Osman. So I have already told you some of these elements. In terms of market analysis, AI tools provide deep insights into market trends and consumer behavior. So, for instance, if you are able to collect a little data on the customers you serve and their preferences, and you put it into AI, it can be any of them. I, for instance, love so much ChatGPT, not the unpaid version, but the paid version. It does a lot of things. You put it in there to give you the implications. This is not for your thesis. I'm talking strictly about business. This is not for your thesis. And you collect this data and you put it and say that, look, I want to really, can you give me some insights about the nature of my customers? It will give you a lot more things that you cannot think about. You cannot. So that is some of the things that you can do. AI automates routine tasks. I've mentioned that. So once it takes the routine tasks, your responsibility now would be to devote your time to more of the major issues. And AI-driven platforms connect entrepreneurs to worldwide markets. If you have certain products, certain commodities, or certain things that you are selling, I'm just trying to recall one experience I had recently. I've forgotten where. When they were talking about the nature of how organic our products are. But they were making reference to some, I think orange and a couple of the products. They were making reference to how organic they are. And you can target the international market using AI. Just ask the questions and the AI will pop up the answers for you. And it can get you connected globally. So the issues, if you're an entrepreneur, you have, or you are an aspiring entrepreneur, you have the opportunity to use all the tools. But I think Michael hinted on a number of the issues. I'll focus much more on bias and fairness, data privacy, and also the idea of accountability. Now, globally, we're still talking about issues of diversity, equity, and inclusivity, etc., etc. And we are always mindful of the fact that our use and even the way we build our processes and procedures, instructions through our algorithms, do not perpetuate idea of biases and and unfairness. AI and its application have done some good. So most often when you use Google, what voice do you hear? Google. Those of you who use Google Maps, what voice do you hear? What voice do you hear? Yeah, it's most often female. Oh, I didn't hear. Sorry. It's most often female. And the guys, we don't like when we hear the male voice cry because sometimes the male voice is weird. It's weird. I remember one time I had a fight with my Google map. Because where it led me to the land of temptation. And I was angry, and then in the midst of that, the female voice turned into a male voice. And I said, you can change it, I don't care. But I was in the car alone. So we want to really also ensure that as we use it, we avoid that tendency, okay? Data privacy, protecting sensitive user information from misuse. Dr. Michael Edu mentioned that. The AI is recycling the data we put in there. So in Ghana, I think when it comes to, for instance, Google Map, we are now feeding in with a lot of what information. Because originally it wasn't built with what? Our information. But be mindful of what you put in there. Be mindful. So immediately you begin to put certain things in. If you are not careful at a point in time, that is what you get. Accountability. Determining responsibility for AI driven outcomes. We are accountable. And like as students, the ones that we spoke about, we realized that we needed to make sure that we show ownership. Please, the AI, like ChatGPT and all that, would also expose to you a lot of product, a lot of business ideas, a lot of commodities. It can even show you recipes, but what you need to know is that those recipes are not your original recipe. They are not your original recipe. So if you go and pick them and tomorrow you put out something and somebody labels, something against you that you have, copied their proprietary right, that could be an issue that can harm you. So let us be careful, as we go through that. So I have highlighted the ethical issues over and over again. So the key principles for AI training, because I was also asked to talk about training, I've looked at areas of transparency, inclusion, empowerment, and the idea of what? Sustainability. I'm told my time is up. Let's go. Maybe if I can do the last one. So I've shared a lot of them with you. These are all free. These are all online. For instance, the startup Genomics AI 2 provides a lot of insight. Those of you who want to go into startups, it provides a lot of insight for you. And there's so many of them. But people are now using the AI tools even as a way of, trying to obtain crowdfunding. Startup incubator, I think I've mentioned that. Social good initiatives, AI-powered microfinance platform that empower underserved communities in Africa. So there are even platforms that are sources by which you can secure some funding. I always say that just Google. Always just Google. Always just Google. I hope I've finished. So I earlier on also hinted that, I know my time is up, hinted that, please, we need to make sure that, for instance, as educators, before we'll be able to teach people how to use it ethically, we ourselves need to be able to use them ethically. So that is why there is a call that we need to maybe have a second phase of this workshop so that we can do more of hands-on. So we need to educate stakeholders, and you are a stakeholder as well. The teachers are also stakeholders. And then for me, what is also very critical are the administrative staff of the university, for instance, or other spaces. Guidelines. Michael, we've done the draft already of the UCC AI policy. So we are waiting for management to finalize the committee system, and then we go through the process. So we've done some drafts of the policy. Partner with tech developers, educators, and policymakers. Sometimes they can tell you certain things that you need to know. We are using a lot of this AI, but sincerely, we have not nowhere engaged with any of the developers. Sometimes it's necessary, because that will let us understand. Of course, responsible innovation is also one of the things that you need to look at. I remember one student asking me in class, so if somebody engaged in cocaine business, is it entrepreneurship? I don't think you want to hear my answer. So way forward, continuous monitoring. This is my last slide. I hope so. Continuous monitoring. We need to continuously monitor and see how it is impacting on the things that we do. Learn the negative sides, try and correct, and then move on. Ethical leadership, encourage ethical practices among young entrepreneurs. I've told you what ethics is about. Doing the right thing when there's nobody around. So that is what we need to know. Teaching students and staff on usage, I've already mentioned that. And the idea, one of the things that came up is the subscription. Sometimes the unpaid version may not give you, a deeper insight into what it is. So these are from me as takeaways, and I hope you'll be able to take these things with you. That AI provides a lot of opportunities. Now I think you have more opportunities than probably what we have. I only share a little bit with you because of time, but I can share a number of you where the AI provides a lot of opportunities for everybody. The person being trained, the one that wants business, the one that is already running a business. And then the second is the ethical dimension, which I have also hammered on. Because if we are not careful, all those who are afraid that AI is going to take over the jobs of people, it is about how we practice the AI and what AIs that we introduce. The point is that, as I said, we seem to be more consumers of AI than the developers or manufacturers. So if there are other things you want to do, you might also want to go a little bit more on how you can also develop AI. But all in all, it requires a collaboration. Okay, it's through a joint effort that we'll be able to take advantage of the opportunities that AI presents. I rest my case for now. If there are questions, I'm willing and happy to take them. Take this and let me give to Mike here.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Oh, you were waiting for me to say we should give him a round of applause. Professor, please don't drop your microphone.
Okay. I forgot it's even here.
Yes, so keep it. Now, Chair, with your permission, we want to acknowledge our friends online.
Give it to me.
And to friends, I apologize on our behalf. We had a small technical hitch. So for about 3 minutes, you couldn't listen to us. Forgive us. Frederick Jaban Ano, thank you for reminding us on the ethical use of AI. We appreciate this. Ernest, we just pick a few. Ernest Aka Enzoa. I am a student of Pentecost University. I am really enjoying the presentations. Tadala Salome, I think I got the name right. Very insightful presentation. Kofi Esiem. I'm enjoying the presentation from my office. and many, many others. We're looking for their questions, but it appears they are comfortable with the presentations. So let's give them a round of applause even as they listen to us. Now, Professor, before I open the floor for questions for you, I have one.
Okay.
It's run through that this issue of AI and the production and my input, who will own the copyright? Is it AI or is my work?
Okay.
You have your mic.
Oh,
already.
my microphone is here. You see you. Hey. Okay, so I think Michael already dealt with this issue. So let's talk about your assignment. Let's talk about your assignment.
I'm listening.
Yes. So we expect you to do the work yourself. Formally, what you do is that you might have gone to the, what do we call it, library, gather some books, based on what the books have said. You use that to write your assignment. And we credit that assignment to you. Now, what happens is that, well, I don't know how many of you go to the library to read a book. But then what you do now is that you use the AI to collect or bring the, that information together. And I have always said that that is what the AI should do for you. The AI should be able to help you to bring that information for you to easily have access to that information. Once you have access to that information, you need to now polish up that information. In fact, I think in one of workshop that I attended or something, I was told that on the average, for about a paragraph of about 10 words, 10 words, yeah, of 10 words, you need to change between 6 to about 7 of them. You need to re-engage whatever you have and ensure that at the end of the day, you are doing this based on your understanding. So I always tell my students that AI only helps you to assemble or retrieve the information, but it's your responsibility to make sure that you make that write-up meaningful to the best of your own understanding. So once you do that, there's no way we can say that it's being owned by the AI. We can, but if you don't and you just submit, then obviously copyright is not yours, but whoever might have put that information on that site that you went to retrieve.
Thank you very much.
Prof. A quick one.
Yes.
How would you encourage the use of AI to say, help us read the policy? I'll maybe try and answer, then you can add up.
Okay.
The first one is that, for instance, in the UN, like I said last time, they want you to read a policy so that you'll be abreast with the ethical issues in doing most of their work. They give you the material and then they ask you about 100 questions. So I'll use this as a recommendation to some of the things you were saying. That, for instance, in business, you need to read some of them. So you can actually use the AI to set the questions from the document, you answer, you know that most of the things are. And I want you to maybe in your office use that for UCC policy, because when you ask the question, nobody lifted the hand. So enforcing us, that's what the FAO did. You read, you pass, then they print a certificate for you. And that certificate you upload, then it will help you register the courses. I think when we do that, it will in a way push us to read.
Okay.
The other one had to do with turning on your camera. Sometimes we are unaware that whilst using AI also be watching your face. In 2012, we were doing some work in China, face recognition, to help people enter the bank, come out of the bank, so you study their mood. At least they were able to use that to arrest people who were coming to rob the bank. Because if you have a knife on you and you are going to stab somebody, your face will be different from somebody who. So AI is actually being used. So to help all of us, please. Yeah. So to help all of us, maybe when you are working, put something to cover the camera side of your AI too.
Yeah.
They may be watching you and you will not know. Okay. And then that, I think with that we have a good place. And also to improve the AI, which we all want it to be improved. Questions you have like, dislike, try and answer. When you do that, it improves the algorithms, improves the languages, and then Africa, like you said, will also be part of the future. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Yeah. So the question on the policy, I think that currently that is what we want to do, because what happens is that elsewhere, student orientation, for instance, is an exam of its own. So if it is a policy, we set questions on the policy. Some of them they are videos. So before you get into your portal, for instance, for your first registration, you have to read the policy, respond to the questions, and before your portal will open. So there is no way you say you will not read the policy. So I think it's a very good observation. Some are also even videos. The whole thing has been changed to videos. And you need to watch before you can move and access your portal. So I think that's a very good one. Okay.
There we go. One is here.
Thank you very much. Okay. So please, we've been talking about ethical use of AI, and for us students, sometimes you write an essay for lecturers and then they'll tell you it's AI, even when it is directly from your head, because it has happened to me before that we had to send it to the library for Turnitin, and then AI will still give you a percentage even if it's still from your head. So I want to know who determines the percentage that is okay for students to use AI, because some lecturers will say they'll cancel your work if you use AI. Meanwhile, they themselves, they are using AI to determine that you are using AI. So what percentage will it be okay for a student to say that, oh, I've used this percentage? And do we leave it to the discretion of the lecturers to determine that this work should be cancelled or this work should be accepted?
Okay, so it's the university that determines. And currently we're talking about not above 18%. Michael, correct me. 24. 20. Yes. Exactly.
Professors, the students say I should ask whether that policy is only known to professors.
No.
That the policy 1822.
No.
Are the students aware?
They are. They are aware.
Okay. Okay. So until you go to check. That's fine.
So my dear, is the university policy, as you rightly have pointed out. You see, I always link this discussion of similarity. We call it the similarity test with citation. You see, I can pick your work. I'm doing literature review. I pick your work. I read your work. I make a meaning out of your work. I paraphrase, but when I finish, I still have to go ahead and cite you. So you might have gone to the library to consult books, okay, or online. You got some material you wrote, but because you drew some ideas from those authors, you still have to go ahead and, and cite them, giving them that recognition. Yeah.
Very well. The last one, Chair, with your permission, I want to see a lady, a woman, because men have spoken plenty. So any lady volunteer to, if you ask a question, when I give you the mic, I will ask you a question before I go to the chair. Yes. So let me come to you.
Maybe,
How are you?
Question for me?
Do you want to ask a question or I should ask you a question? None of the above. Okay. Tell me your takeaway from all the three presentations.
In fact, it has really given me an insight on the use of the AI. There are things that I have never known, but today I've known, like the insightful. I haven't used it before. I never knew of it, but I think I've known it, and I think I'm going to make use of them from now going. Thank you.
A round of applause for Professor and everybody. In fact, we are clapping for ourselves. It should go. It should go. The Aberini will come when the chair gives the closing remarks. Before I forget, those audience out there will have a session that you cannot be part. So forgive us. When we say the closing prayer, senior members, we are going to have a discussion of some of the issues you have raised. So you give us just 15 minutes at Sasakawa. Round table so that we get the ideas so we can have a good report. Senior staff, senior or junior members, students will remain here. We also have an interaction for 15 minutes before we go. That is the announcement, so take note of that. Again, the chair tells me that, yes, we'll take AI picture. The chair tells me that because of, this one is big, because of time, we're going to introduce everybody so that we know ourselves. But time wouldn't permit. So if we don't introduce everybody, the mistake is mine. So you forgive me. On that note, want to come to the chair who has no man. So chair, take over.
Thank you very much, my brother. I think in order to save time, first of all, I would like to say a big thank you to all of you, most especially the participants. If you're not here, the esteemed speakers wouldn't have done what they've done, and no one would have learned anything. So first of all, thank you all, and secondly, thank you to the speakers. If I don't mention my brother's name, I'll get punished. Mike, thank you. And Daniel, Dan, thank you so much. All right. You see, when you are chair, you can mention the names anyhow, and nobody will punish. Okay, so I think you all agree with me that we've learned a lot. And at a point, my introductory remarks, I said that I'm not going to summarize. I wanted to give question and answers, but I'm not going to do that. But at a point, I was also forced to write down some few takeaways, especially when my brother, a lay preacher, started using hallelujah. Hallelujah. So few takeaways that preceded the hallelujah. It says, AI is a supplement. It's like you taking your vitamin supplement to supplement whatever that you've eaten, your fufu or banku. So please make sure that it's a supplement. And it says you should also start on time so that you will not be coupled with deadlines so that you use AI without thinking through whatever that you put across. Then also be mindful of whatever you upload. In your quest to use AI, you may hardly upload your raw data that you have not thought through it. And as soon as you upload, it becomes public use. So you should be mindful of that. And Prophet Japan also has just opened our mind that we can use AI to know our customers to improve our profit margin. So on this note, I think we have just been excited to learn more of the tools using, again, AI, Google, YouTube videos and stuff like that to learn more so that we can improve our productivity. On this note, thank you very much for your patience and the way you attentively listened to that this seminar has been so successful. Thank you once again.
Oh, that's beautiful. Abba, please, I'll come back to you for Abba. But, Chair, with your permission, want to acknowledge Reverend Abole, want to acknowledge Professor Festus Anofrempong, want to acknowledge Professor Ernest Tay, yes. The other one, so I always get confused. Tay Ernest. Are you an Ashanti? Because we will start with the Tay Ernest, Krobo. Then the brother of this one, Michael. We thank you very much. Prof. Is it the one who speaks on ATL? Oh, I see. I see. We have a lot of them sitting in here. But because of time, you think I will introduce you. Engineer, Doctor Jamra, how are you? Yes. Trust me, we have so many mix-up senior members, student, graduate student, undergraduate student, national service. We thank everybody. Now, I hand it over to the Abba woman to do the Abba, and then after that, let me go to you. Even before that, somebody was supposed to moderate the show with me. He has kept busy throughout. Please, you give us Muslim prayer when we finish. So do the Abba clapping, and then we call it a day. Oh, you won't clap for me too. Abba.
Thank you, Cornelius. Thank you so much for the wonderful work done. Looking at how successful this seminar has been, we really deserve that Abarini. And I think right away from professor to all the doctors here, students, everybody, thank you so much. This has really been a success. We really thank God for this show. And so let's really give the facilitators, we are starting with the facilitators, let's give them a very big Abarini. Awesome. And to those of us who also paid attention and we were listening attentively, we also deserve that. So let's give ourselves Abarini. And to our moderator, if I don't do that, I think he really loves that. Yeah. Should I do?
Please smile what you are doing for me. Because the AI will let me know that you are not happy.
Interested. So let's offer him Abarini. Awesome. Thank you all so much. I don't know if the announcement has already gone. All right. All right. So senior members will be joining and continue the conversation at Sasakawa restaurant. And then junior members, we will continue here. And then we would also network and then take it up from there. And so everyone should relax. Please, no hush to move. So let's all relax. Senior members, we plead with you. You gently move outside. And then you go to the Sasakawa restaurant. And then Dr. Shaibu, you offer us with a Muslim prayer to end the session. Thank you very much.
Right. Good afternoon, everyone. Anyway, we talk. Oh, no, it's fine. It's fine. We thank the Almighty for a successful seminar. We started with him and we are ending with him. So I just do the usual first chapter of our Quran that we use anytime we pray. So when I finish, we all say Ameen, right? Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen, Ar-Rahmanir Rahim, Maliki Yawmiddin, Iyaka na'budu wa iyaka nasta'in, Ihdina as-siratal mustaqim, siratal ladzina an'amta alayhim, ghayril maghdubi alayhim waladdallin. Thank you.
Wow. This is my take home. Trust me. God bless everybody. So, he deserves Abarini. This one here. Abarini. I did that because he has sweet voice, but he doesn't want to speak. Why? So thank you for consenting. On that note, please make sure you make a friend before you go. The next 15 minutes will be for interaction. We want to thank our Yes, we'll have group photographs. So as you go out, we'll pick the senior members first. But for us, we'll arrange and be taking group pictures.